Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. There is nothing absolute in this world. They didn't dare to gamble with the lives of their soldiers, because they knew that the price would be huge, and they didn't even want to see such a thing happen. Su Yan also wanted to find an opportunity to annihilate their battleship in one fell swoop. He also wants to obtain some resources through this interstellar battleship, and he is not in a hurry now. He is waiting for an opportunity. The other party's battleship has already started to dock. These guys are really cautious. At this time, Su Yan also discovered that his battleship had approached this group of interstellar battleships. This group of interstellar warships, after landing, immediately stopped on a sea surface, and then, one after another, figures began to land one after another, and flew towards the underground of this planet. It seemed that their reinforcements were about to arrive. However, these guys are really cautious, they don't even dare to drive the boat or come up to investigate. Su Yan sneered. "General, what should we do?" Roger asked. "What should we do? We will stay here and wait for the reinforcements from the other side to arrive." Guan Yao replied. "Yes, General," said Roger. "This time, there are quite a few of them," Su Yan said with narrowed eyes. Su Yan can be sure that this time, the army of the Galactic Federation must suffer heavy losses. After all, the soldiers on these spaceships were dispatched from other planets. Although they are also fighters of the Galactic Federation, they are scattered. They are on these interstellar warships, and they are only responsible for defense, and they are not directly involved in the war. These armies, that is, some ordinary space warriors, are simply unable to compare with these armies of the Galactic Federation. In this interstellar battle, they lost a lot of soldiers, which can be regarded as a huge loss. These troops should send more powerful soldiers to come. Su Yan thought to himself. He also thought about who would be sent by the other party, but he did not expect that the other party sent 2 space warriors. The strength of these 2 space warriors is much stronger than the previous space warriors, and their battleship is only 5 or 6 space battleships. Although they also have 2 space battleships, these space battleships can no longer be used. Now they have no way to leave the galaxy. We can only rely on these 2 interstellar battleships to resist this battle. These battleships are quite good. Su Yan touched his chin with his palm and said. These battleships are also some old-fashioned space battleships. Compared with some of the current new interstellar battleships, the defensive capabilities of these 2 interstellar battleships are stronger. These 2 warships also have a special function, that is, they can absorb stars and increase the equipment on the warships. The defense functions of these 2 warships are also very powerful and their speed is also very fast. Even Su Yan can't guarantee that the speed can surpass him. However, Su Yan would not let the 2 battleships escape. The 2 battleships, Su Yan, are about to be ordered. He also wanted to know, in this universe, in addition to the interstellar battleship of the Galactic Federation, where else would there be such a high-level interstellar battleship like the one in front of him? Such warships, ordinary interstellar warships, cannot be produced. Su Yan thought of this, and immediately steered the Hyperion toward the front. Su Yan was going to hunt down these 2 warships, and he wanted to annihilate each other, completely. In this way, he could save some trouble and waste his time. "General, they are getting close to us, what are we going to do?" Roger asked. "Humph. Since they want to hunt us down, let's have a good time with him." Guan Yao sneered. He knew that his army suffered heavy losses, and this time, their losses were not small. This point, he is clear, in his heart, it is also very uncomfortable and very depressed. After all, this time, it can be said that he lost his wife and lost his army. However, there is no way to do this. The opponent's battleship is 1 step ahead of their battleship, which he has to admit. Su Yan doesn't care about other things, now, he just wants to consume the energy of the other party as much as possible. These 2 battleships are a black interstellar battleship, and the other is a blue interstellar battleship. Their target was also the battleship Su Yan. However, Su Yan didn't know how many people there were on the other side, nor how fast the other side's battleship was. Therefore, he can't take the risk and rush directly. He has to observe the situation first, and then make plans. "General, there is a battleship ahead," Roger shouted suddenly. Hearing this, Guan Yao also noticed that he saw a battleship approaching them. "Roger, you lead the soldiers on the other interstellar battleships to stop this interstellar battleship. Be sure to delay the time so that they cannot escape our sight," Guan Yao ordered. "General, you can rest assured that we will complete the task," Roger replied. A smile appeared on the corner of Su Yan's mouth. This brilliance is also considered interesting, and he did not choose to confront him, but instead chose to avoid it. "Roger, be careful not to let their warships get close to us, otherwise, we will be in danger," Guan Yao exhorted. "General, you can rest assured, I understand." Roger nodded, and then took the rest of the soldiers of the spaceship, and quickly approached the Hyperion. Boom! As soon as Roger and the others approached, the Hyperion fired a missile. The missile turned into a meteor and spewed out from the muzzle. The turrets on the interstellar battleship also opened fire one after another, strafing the Hyperion. The turret on the Hyperion is extremely defensive. Although the other space battleships are all new space battleships. In terms of energy storage, it is far inferior to the Hyperion. Therefore, the attack of this blow had no effect on the Hyperion. On the contrary, the Hyperion used this shock wave to push the opponent's interstellar battleship a certain distance away. Such a powerful fort, such a solid energy supply, this interstellar civilization is still very difficult. Su Yan sighed when he saw this. This interstellar battleship is also a behemoth, not only has a huge main gun, but also a huge secondary gun, and a main gun barrel. Such a weapon, even the Galactic Federation, is only a loss. The Hyperion's defenses are also many times stronger than the starships of the Galactic Federation. This is also because their material is made of starry sky stone, so their defensive power is so amazing. I don't know if the main gun of this starship is aggressive. If it can be aggressive, then I don't need to worry. Su Yan murmured, "It's just that his shells are not threatening. If there is, I can easily deal with him." Su Yan didn't think any more, and controlled the Hyperion to fire cannonballs at the two spaceships in front. Boom boom boom. These missiles exploded, instantly destroying the opponent's interstellar battleship. What kind of battleship is this? I have never heard of such a terrifying and powerful battleship before. Could it be that there is such a 157 super-interstellar civilization? A space warrior looked at this scene and kept mumbling to himself. "No, that battleship is aggressive, everyone must pay attention." Guan Yao shouted immediately. Hearing Guan Yao's words, everyone's expressions changed slightly, but they knew that that battleship was aggressive, and if it was attacked, it would be troublesome. "General, don't worry," Roger said loudly, "I have ordered all the soldiers to enter the battleship as soon as possible, and nothing will happen." Hearing Roger's words, Guan Yao felt a little more at ease. He was also shocked in his heart. It was the first time he had seen such a powerful warship, such a powerful warship. If they could win this warship, then they would have a lot of war tools in the future. Their attacks were blocked by the Hyperion. No matter whether it was missiles, lasers, or artillery shells, they could not break through the defense of the Hyperion, let alone injure the Hyperion. Seeing that the defense of the Hyperion was so strong, Guan Yao no longer had the idea of continuing to fight Su Yan, and he immediately turned around, preparing to bypass the Hyperion. However, Guan Yao's tactics were not very successful. Because Su Yan had long guessed that Guan Yao and others would do this, the turret of the Hyperion had already been aimed at their battleship and was ready to fire. Roger and other soldiers on several interstellar battleships also saw this situation, and immediately aimed at the main guns of those battleships, and then aimed at the muzzles of the battleships. One missile after another quickly attacked the opposing warships. Although those missiles were not powerful enough, they were superior in number, and they quickly drowned those interstellar warships. The main guns on the Hyperion also began to fire. One missile after another quickly flew towards the crowd above the interstellar battleships. Those people couldn't resist at all, and the missiles exploded one after another, causing countless casualties. Some gunners and mechanics also suffered devastating blows. This battle can be described as a one-sided slaughter. The interstellar battleships could not resist the attack of the Hyperion at all, and soon they were completely lost, leaving only those few interstellar battleships. "General, what should we do? Otherwise, shall we retreat?" Roger looked at the situation in front of him, and his heart was also horrified. He knew that if they continued to fight like this, their battleship would definitely be finished long ago. "No, we must not retreat. This is our honor. We cannot retreat. In any case, we must kill the battleship." Guan Yao pondered for a moment, then said through gritted teeth. "The artillery fire on the Hyperion has been continuously bombarding, and those space battleships have also been seriously injured. The main guns of some battleships have even been destroyed. On the Hyperion, the artillery fire continued. General, I feel that our hull seems to be cracking." A soldier panicked. Hearing the soldier's words, Guan Yao's complexion also changed. He carefully observed it and found that his hull really seemed to have a sign of cracking. This made Guan Yao's face extremely ugly. If the hull really cracked, then his battleship would be completely scrapped. "Everyone hurry up to attack and destroy that battleship as soon as possible." Guan Yao hurriedly roared. "Yes, General." The crowd responded immediately, and then, they fired frantically at the Hyperion. Guan Yao also did not dare to neglect, and also joined the ranks of the attack. "General, I feel that our warships may be about to be scrapped. You see, those forts are slowly collapsing," another soldier said. Guan Yao's face was also very solemn, and he also saw the situation of those forts. At this moment, a trace of sweat also permeated on Guan Yao's forehead. If the battery of their battleship is destroyed, their combat effectiveness will be halved, and he does not want to lose this battleship. Guan Yao took a deep breath and said, "We can't stop fighting, we must persist until the last second. If this is the case, we can only hope to survive." "Yes." All of them nodded to show their understanding. Under the cover of those battleships, Guan Yao led his subordinates and launched a fierce offensive against the Hyperion. The main guns of these battleships are also attacking frantically. However, their attacks are of no use. The Hyperion's armor is so powerful that their shells can't penetrate the Hyperion's shell, let alone give it to the Hyperion. Sunk. Su Yan maneuvered the Hyperion to keep moving to avoid being hit by these artillery fire. Other warships were not so lucky. Although they were not hit, their defense system was completely scrapped in 2.6. Cannonballs shot out from the muzzle and landed on the warships, and they exploded immediately, blowing up the warships. If this goes on, those spaceships will be blown up sooner or later. Guan Yao's face was ashen. He did not expect that the Hyperion's combat power would be so powerful. If this is the case, then this battle cannot be fought like this. He also immediately issued an order to evacuate, so that the rest of the battleships were all evacuated, leaving only his interstellar battleship and some remaining battleships. Su Yan saw Guan Yao withdraw. This guy already knew he was afraid. This made Guan Yao heave a sigh of relief. If the other party has been entangled here, then he really doesn't have much confidence in dealing with the other party. Su Yan watched as the shining fleet began to withdraw. A sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Just kidding, he didn't want these guys to run away easily. This time, he must destroy them all. In this way, his goal is achieved. "General, the enemy has already withdrawn, should we also withdraw?" Roger asked aside. Guan Yao shook his head and remained silent. He knew that Su Yan was definitely going to follow their battleship. If he didn't pursue it, then his fleet would probably be overtaken by Su Yan. This time, Guan Yao's heart was also depressed for a while. He thought that they could successfully overcome the opponent's defense line, but he didn't think that the opponent would have such a tyrannical combat power. He also saw that the other party seemed to want to take advantage of the opportunity of their retreat to annihilate all their fleets, and then attack their headquarters. At this moment, Guan Yao was really panicked. If he was besieged by Su Yan, then his battleship would probably be reimbursed here. The only thing he can do now is to escape the scope of this battleship as soon as possible. He also understood that if he didn't leave again, then his battleship would be in real danger. Thinking of this, Guan Yao waved his hand and ordered the battleship to speed up. Soon, his battleship speeded up and ran away quickly, while Su Yan looked at the escaped battleship, but smiled bitterly. This guy actually escaped, it seems. Guan Yao, this guy, really smart. This is no wonder, Guan Yao, if they don't escape, then their battleship will really be scrapped. It's a pity that in this battle, he didn't catch that guy and let him escape. Su Yan looked at Guan Yao's distant figure and couldn't help sighing. But Su Yan knew that this time the battle was very crucial. It was a big victory. If the opponent ran away, it would be difficult to catch them next time. No matter what, he couldn't let Guan Yao run away. Su Yan also immediately manipulated the Hyperion and chased in the direction that Guan Yao had fled. The speed of the Hyperion was even faster than the speed of those battleships. After a while, they caught up with the shining battleship and began to frantically attack the shining battleship. Boom, boom, boom. The shells continued to fall, and many warships had been scrapped. They still did not give up their resistance, they still fought back desperately, wanting to continue to confront the Hyperion head-on. It is a pity that their fighting will is too weak, and they are not the opponents of the Hyperion at all. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and kept attacking those warships. His goal was to destroy those warships, and then collect all the information and strategic materials of those warships. Boom! Battleships and battleships kept colliding together, explosions kept happening, and Su Yan kept controlling the Hyperion to attack. He will let these warships be completely scrapped, and then he will collect all these warships. At that time, these warships will all belong to him. The Guan Yao battleship is also very powerful, but in front of Su Yan's battleship, it appears very insignificant. After a while, the Guan Yao battleship was blown up by Su Yan. Seeing that Guan Yao's battleship was destroyed, there was also a burst of pain in Guan Yao's heart. His face also became gloomy. He knew that Su Yan would never let him escape, so he immediately gave an order. All battleships obey orders, all turrets are pointed forward, do not stop, continue to move forward, no matter what, we must hold each other, attack me fiercely, and do not let them approach. Guan Yao said through gritted teeth. Under Guan Yao's order, his warships also adjusted their muzzles one after another to fire at Su Yan and their warships. These brilliant shells are all high explosive shells with great power, so when their shells bombarded the Hyperion was also shattered, turned into countless fragments and scattered. Flying, it looks quite spectacular. Su Yan and the others also avoided the attacks of those warships one after another. They knew that although these warships were powerful, their combat effectiveness was not particularly high. As long as they were given enough time, they could easily kill each other. The glorious battleship has suffered a lot, but he can still bear these losses. Continue to attack me, be sure to kill this battleship. Guan Yao gritted his teeth and said. As Guan Yao's order was passed on, those warships frantically fired at Su Yan and their warships again. These shells kept hitting the Hyperion, making a huge roar. Boom! The Hyperion also kept fighting back. Damn, this Su Yan is really strong. If we continue like this, our fleet will be wiped out by him sooner or later. Damn, is there no one who can punish him? Guan Yao gritted his teeth and said, at this moment, he really regretted it a bit. I regretted that I had provoked Su Yan. You must know that in this universe, their Guan Yao clan is one of the top forces. They have a lot of high-tech weapons, and 157 also has a lot of warships. However, in front of Su Yan, these things seem very weak. Su Yan manipulated the Hyperion and kept attacking the others' warships fiercely. Su Yan knew that Guan Yao would definitely not let him go, and since that was the case, then he didn't need to worry about anything, and directly disabled Guan Yao's battleship. He wanted to see what kind of attitude Guan Yao had. This time, he must destroy the shining battleship. He will make Guan Yao pay a heavy price. Boom! The Hyperion kept bombarding the radiant battleship. He not only wanted to destroy the radiant battleship, but also the opponent's defense system. Only by destroying the radiant battleship could this matter be resolved. Su Yan also used his own warships to attack frantically, and in the process, the glorious fleet also suffered destructive damage. The fighters on the battleships were also constantly being destroyed, and the fighters with the battleships also surrendered one after another. Under the command of Guan Yao, these soldiers also kept sending signals to the battleships ahead. Hope the warships ahead can help them, and then win the war. Their signal did not get a response at all, and they didn't know what the situation of the battleship in front was, so they could only watch the battleship in front of them being defeated by Su Yan and the others. Seeing the battleship in front of him being defeated, Guan Yao was also furious for a while. He kept roaring, "Bastard, what the hell did he do? Why didn't even the battleship protect him well?" Under the order of Guan Yao, the battleship also began to retreat. The glorious fleet began to retreat. Su Yan also smiled slightly, watching those battleships keep retreating. A sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Did they retreat? Su Yan also did not pursue, but continued to control the Hyperion to pursue. He did not know why the other party suddenly retreated, but he knew that such a situation must be related to Guan Yao. No matter what the reason, since they all retreated, he naturally would not continue to chase and kill them foolishly. Doing so would only make his losses more serious. Therefore, he also returned immediately. He believed that since the other party retreated, he would definitely come to trouble them, so he continued to wait, waiting for the other party to provoke him again. Inside the battleship, Guan Yao's face became very ugly. Damn! Damn! Guan Yao kept roaring, and his eyes were red, full of anger. This time it can be said that he suffered heavy losses. His battleships lost more than 200 ships. These losses made Guan Yao very distressed. These battleships had cost him a lot of wealth to buy, and now they have all lost so easily. Guan Yao is naturally very angry. Su Yan, you are going too far. Please remember to me, this hatred, I will definitely get my revenge back. Guan Yao said through gritted teeth. Su Yan was in control of the battleship, and he also drove forward unhurriedly. He knew that this fellow Guan Yao would definitely send other warships to attack, so he was also ready to fight. Sure enough, in the next time, Su Yan received 3 more messages. The contents of the 3 messages were similar, and they were constantly attacking him, but Su Yan ignored him at all and continued to drive forward. During this period of time, he destroyed more than a dozen warships, and Su Yan did not forget to continue to attack, and continued to carry out devastating attacks. In this state, the glorious fleet has been severely damaged. During this period of time, the rate of loss of battleships was much faster than before. Su Yan controls the battleship and continues to travel in this universe. Damn, this group of bastards actually dare to destroy my battleship. It is really deceiving. They keep attacking like this, my battleship will be destroyed sooner or later. Guan Yao looked at the situation inside the battleship, also anxious. The current situation is very unfavorable for him. If Su Yan keeps attacking his warships, then his losses will be more and more, and the losses of warships will be more and more serious. If this continues, their fleet will definitely be destroyed by Su Yan. Guan Yao's face also became more and more ugly, and he didn't dare to continue to order and let the battleship continue to attack. He was worried that if this continued, their losses would become even greater. In this case, his warships kept moving in the air, and they wanted to escape. However, these battleships couldn't leave too far, their speed simply couldn't keep up with Su Yan's speed, and if this continued, they would soon be completely annihilated by Su Yan and the others. Guan Yao also knew this. He couldn't help but regret a little, why didn't he retreat earlier? It's a pity that everything is too late now. Now, he can only pray that the people in his fleet will not be defeated by the other party. On Su Yan's battleship, he was also paying attention to the situation outside, and he also found that the shining battleship was moving towards them. Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly, and the corners of his mouth also drew an arc. Since the glorious fleet took the initiative to attack him, then there is no need for him to be polite, he will make them pay the price. His body also jumped up suddenly, turning into a meteor in the air, heading towards the dazzling battleship. Next to the glorious battleship, his battleship quickly followed, and then, a battleship flew quickly above his battleship. Su Yan is driving this battleship, constantly attacking the shining battleship. And the dazzling battleship also evaded quickly. You bastard! Su Yan, even if you are ruthless, you dare to counterattack. Guan Yao's heart is also full of anger. He also did not expect that Su Yan would be so arrogant, so unscrupulous. Not only that, he would also take the initiative to attack him, and his battleship was also flashing constantly. Su Yan's warships kept attacking the shining warships. The glorious fleet can only evade within a certain range. In this way, the speed of Su Yan's battleship is even faster. Among their battleships, there are also dozens of warriors, all of them are pale, they all know that this is their fleet, and is about to usher in the most difficult test. Once they make a mistake, their battleship will soon be destroyed by Su Yan's battleship. Guan Yao also understands that his only way now is to get rid of Su Yan as soon as possible, so that he can avoid this danger. I have to say that Guan Yao's battleship is indeed very strong. In such a short period of time, he has avoided several waves of attacks, and in these waves of attacks, Guan Yao's warship has also suffered great damage. Although, by Li Zhao, his losses were not large, he also knew that if his battleship was not very strong, it is estimated that it would be his battleship that suffered heavy losses. Su Yan's battleship was also chasing him non-stop. His target was the shining battleship, and now their distance had narrowed a lot, and Su Yan also wanted to completely defeat their battleship. This is their last chance. Guan Yao also kept ordering, and the battleship kept flying towards the distance, trying to get rid of Su Yan. Want to run? I just don't let you do what you want, stop them from booking for me. Su Yan also kept ordering, and his warships kept attacking the shining warships, and their warships kept attacking the shining warships. The warships of both sides are constantly chasing, and no one can do anything about the other, but such consumption will make their losses even greater. Damn, our battleship is almost unbearable, and if this continues, our battleship will be destroyed by the opponent sooner or later. Guan Yao's brows furrowed. He was also a little flustered in his heart, because he felt that his battleship seemed to be really over. Everyone, speed me up, we can't continue to consume, we must get out of here as soon as possible. Guan Yao's voice sounded, and upon hearing his order, the soldiers on the battleship also turned their bows one after another, no longer attacking Su Yan's battleship, but quickly accelerated away. Su Yan was stunned when he saw that the opponent suddenly changed the direction of the attack. He was also a little puzzled in his heart. However, Su Yan wouldn't care how the opponent suddenly changed his attack method, his eyes were also fixed on the shining battleship. At this moment, Su Yan's heart also secretly said, Guan Yao, just wait. I will let you know that I am amazing. Boom. Su Yan's battleship, also facing the shining battleship, kept attacking. His warship kept firing artillery shells, the artillery shells streaked across the air, and a long tail flame was drawn in the air. You bastard, Su Yan, you don't need to use such 157 aggressive tactics, you're just wasting your time by doing this. There was also a sense of anger in Guan Yao's tone. He also knew that if he continued to consume it, his fleet would be sunk by Su Yan's battleship. Humph, my patience has never been bad, isn't your fleet very powerful? Why, are you afraid of me now? Don't dare to fight with me? Su Yan sneered. Su Yan, this hatred, I will take revenge on you, this account, I will also remember. Ha ha ha. Whatever. If you don't get out of here now, I'm welcome. Su Yan has a mocking expression on his face, and his heart is also very refreshing now. He just likes to provoke the other party, and he just wants to make the other party's heart feel angry, and then he can destroy the other party's battleship. When Guan Yao heard Su Yan's words, a burst of anger rose in his heart. Su Yan, don't think I really can't do anything about you. There was also a roar from Guan Yao's mouth. Yes, you can try it now. Su Yan's battleship, also rapidly, DBCG, approaching the shining battleship, was about 2,000 miles away from his battleship. Su Yan's battleship is also constantly attacking the shining battleship. Among the glorious fleet, there was already a battleship, which exploded directly because it could not carry too much pressure, and the remaining battleships were also destroyed one after another. Damn it! Seeing that his battleships have suffered devastating blows, Guan Yao's heart also felt distressed. These were their last hopes, but they were destroyed so easily, which made his heart feel very uncomfortable. He also hated Su Yan very much. If it wasn't for him, how could his battleship have lost so much, and the less he lost, the more angry he was in his heart. Su Yan, I will never let you go. Guan Yao was also in his heart, roaring non-stop, and in his eyes, there was also a strong killing intent. Guan Yao's fleet has been forced by Su Yan to retreat near the coastline, and Guan Yao's face has become solemn. He knows that the current war has become more and more serious, and he must solve the battle as soon as possible, otherwise, his fleet will be defeated by the other side. Such a result was not acceptable to him. Captain, what should I do now? A commander asked Guan Yao. Guan Yao took a deep breath and said, Go on, but Captain, our fleet has lost too much, and our fleet can no longer move forward. The adjutant on the side said. I said go ahead. I don't want to hear nonsense, and tell the other fleets to return immediately and return to the starport. We must now assemble the fleet. I will not allow our warships to be sunk by the enemy. Guan Yao, directly interrupting the other party's words, and then said, the expression on his face is also unusually indifferent. Yes. The adjutant nodded after hearing Guan Yao's words, and then immediately conveyed the order. On Su Yan's battleship, Su Yan could not help but breathe a sigh of relief when he saw that Guan Yao's fleet was starting to withdraw. Ha ha ha, Guan Yao, your battleship can no longer move forward. You are now in my palm. Su Yan shouted loudly, and then continued to attack, constantly attacking Guan Yao's battleship. Guan Yao's face was ashen, but there was nothing he could do. Let's go. Guan Yao also immediately ordered the fleet to rush towards the Star Territory port, and at the same time ordered all the fleets to retreat back to the Star Territory port. They also knew that if they stayed here again, there would definitely be no way. Su Yan saw that Guan Yao's battleship returned directly to the Starfield port. He was also slightly surprised. He also did not expect that Guan Yao would return directly to the Starfield port. He thought that Guan Yao would choose to continue fighting with him. This guy is also quite smart, since you know that if you continue to spend time here, you will not get any benefits at all. It is better to go directly to the port of the Starfield. After all, it is their old lair. Sufficient supplements can also be obtained. A playful smile appeared on the corner of Su Yan's mouth, and he now has an idea. He also slowly lowered the height of the battleship, slowly approached the port of the Star Territory, and then rushed directly over. Su Yan's warships are very fast, and their speed is very fast. Almost in an instant, they came to the Starfield port. At the Star Territory port, a large number of fleets have been gathered at this time. All of them are interstellar fleets, with a total of 200 battleships. At the moment when Su Yan's battleship approached, the Star Fleet also found Su Yan's battleship, and they immediately made a defense, preparing for the next attack. Su Yan, don't forget, we are the Federation's fleet, and you will be wanted by our Federation. At that time, even if you run into the universe, you will not be able to avoid the Federation's pursuit. Guan Yao also shouted loudly. He wanted to remind Su Yan not to do stupid things. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Su Yan curled his lips in disdain and said, Humph. What about wanted? Am I still afraid of your Federation? Your planetary federation is nothing but a weak chicken. You dare to threaten me, you are courting death. Su Yan sneered. Hearing Su Yan's words, Guangyao frowned slightly. Su Yan, what do you want? If you want to keep fighting, then we have to keep fighting. Guangyao gritted his teeth. Ha ha. The corner of Su Yan's mouth also evoked a faint smile, and then said, Guangyao, do you think you can still defeat me now? If I really want to fight, just on the sea, I can directly let the battleship ram your battleship and directly crush your fleet, but I didn't do that. Why is that? Because I didn't want to defeat you, I just wanted to humiliate you. Aren't you very arrogant? So now, you can continue to be arrogant, and I will continue to defeat your fleet and kill all your fleets. Hearing Su Yan's words, Guangyao's brows furrowed tightly. He also understood Su Yan's intention. His face was gloomy and uncertain, his eyes looked at Su Yan, and there seemed to be a burst of anger in his eyes. Su Yan continued to sneer, Guangyao, now, you should understand that it is too easy for me to deal with you, and now you only have two ways, one is to surrender and then surrender to me, and the other is to continue to resist to the end. No matter what, you will die under my naval guns. No matter where you escape, your fleet will be wiped out by us. If you don't believe it, you can give it a try. Anyway, I also have 100 kinds way to kill your fleet, so you'd better think about it. Asshole. What the hell do you want? Guangyao stared at Su Yan through gritted teeth, with a grim expression on his face. Su Yan shrugged and said, don't you know what I want to do? As Su Yan said, he also looked at the fleet around him, and then continued to say, Guangyao, your fleet is about to lose its hold. If you resist like this, your fleet will really be destroyed by my battleship. It will be completely destroyed. At that time, everything you have will belong to me. You say, is it right or wrong for me to do this? Hearing Su Yan's words, Guangyao was also stunned for a moment. He looked at the battleships around him, and then saw his own fleet. At this moment, it was beginning to show signs of being overwhelmed. If this continues, his fleet will probably be completely wiped out. Guangyao also understood that what Su Yan said was true. If Su Yan wanted to kill him, it would be very easy. He didn't dare to continue to resist, because he also knew that Su Yan did what he said. Su Yan, what do you want from me? Guangyao asked Su Yan through gritted teeth. It's very simple. I want you to join my command. From now on, you will obey my orders and do whatever I say. If you don't agree, then I will let the warships all ram your fleet. I think, this move of ours should be very scary, right? At that time, I am afraid that your fleet will not be much left. Su Yan said, and also looked at the more than 100 warships beside him. Although they were more than 100 warships, in front of Su Yan, they seemed so fragile. If he wanted to attack them, then they will definitely suffer heavy losses. Although the glorious fleet is all warships, most of their warships are the most advanced warships, and the protection of these warships is also very formidable. If Su Yan hadn't been protected by so many battleships, he would have been defeated long ago. Su Yan is also very clear that the protective power of these battleships is very powerful. So, are you going to join our battleships faction? Su Yan looked at Guangyao and asked with a smile. I promise you. But, Su Yan, I hope you can keep your promise and let our interstellar federation go. Guangyao said through gritted teeth. Haha. Don't worry, I don't plan to harvest your fate for the time being, so your life and death are in my hands. As long as you are willing to listen to my orders, I will not hurt you, and I will also not a bloodthirsty person. Su Yan looked at Guangyao and said with a light smile. For flowers. Hearing Su Yan's words, Guangyao was also relieved. He nodded and agreed to Su Yan's conditions. Very good, you can agree, I am very pleased. Su Yan nodded with a smile, and then waved at the battleship, signaling the battleship to stop attacking. Su Yan, I hope you can keep your promise, otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you. Guangyao looked at Su Yan and said viciously. Don't worry. I always speak my mind. As long as you are obedient, I will not hurt you. Moreover, I admire you very much. You can make a decision and make such a choice in such a short time. You are indeed a wise man. Su Yan looked at Guan Yao and said. Hearing Su Yan's compliment, Guan Yao's face also improved a little, and then he also snorted coldly and said, "Let me go." Guan Yao now has no doubts about Su Yan, because Su Yan's performance just now is enough to prove his strength. He believed that Su Yan had the ability to wipe out his more than 100 warships. In this case, he would really be finished. He also had to believe Su Yan's words. If this is the case, then I will let you go, and you can go. However, you better remember in the future that you are my person, and you are no longer the prince of the shining galaxy, but mine. Everything is mine. Su Yan looked at Guan Yao and said lightly. Yes, I understand. Guan Yao did not dare to disobey Su Yan's orders. After all, he is now Su Yan's prisoner, so everything he has now belongs to Su Yan. Immediately, the glorious fleet also slowly retreated towards the periphery of the battlefield. Soon, the Guan Yao fleet withdrew from the Guan Yao galaxy, and under the leadership of Guan Yao, the rest of the fleet also retreated to the outer areas of the Guan Yao star territory. Su Yan stood there, watching the glorious fleet leave. When the glorious fleet completely disappeared from sight, the corners of Su Yan's mouth raised slightly. In Su Yan's mind, the system prompt sound came. System, congratulations to the host for getting 5 Shunfeng battleships. Looking at this, Su Yan couldn't help but laugh. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised, looking at the direction where Guan Yao disappeared, he said in a low voice, Guan Yao, I hope you don't let me down. If you really don't do well, then your planet will suffer. Guan Yao, your fate is in my hands. Having said that, Su Yan also headed towards the central area of the planet. Soon, Su Yan landed in the Xingqian Palace, and seeing Su Yan landed in the Xingqian Palace, the staff of the Xingqian Palace also greeted him and looked at Su Yan with a look of awe in their eyes. What happened this time was really shocking for them. The 157 incident this time was very serious for them. If Guan Yao hadn't escaped, then their star palace would be caught in the flames of war, and there was a Su Yan who would also wage war on their planet. If such a thing really happens, then, on their planet, they will die without a place to be buried. The people in the Hall of Stars were also very nervous. They were afraid that Su Yan would attack their planet. Looking at the people in the Hall of Stars, Su Yan also smiled and waved his hand, and then said to everyone, Don't worry, I don't plan to attack your planet now, because your planet is in a dangerous environment right now. I hope you can cooperate with me, don't run around casually, otherwise, it will be easily caught by the battleship. Hearing Su Yan's words, the people in the Xingqian Hall were also a little hesitant, and they did not expect that their planet was actually in a dangerous environment. They also know that if their planet is in danger, then theirs will also suffer a great disaster. They had no choice but to nod, then looked at Su Yan and said, Hall Master Su Yan, we will all obey your orders. Su Yan nodded with satisfaction, then looked at the people in the Xingqian Hall, and said, If that's the case, then I'm relieved. Okay, you can go and do your work. I'm going to stay here for a few days, and I'll help you solve the problem. The crisis of the shining galaxy, no matter who it is, don't come to trouble me. Yes. We will pay attention. Hearing Su Yan's words, everyone immediately nodded and said to Su Yan. Su Yan nodded, then waved his hand too, and everyone backed out. When everyone left the Hall of Stars, Su Yan also turned around and looked at the starry sky outside the planet. This time, Guan Yao really fell into Su Yan's hands, and this planet will also become Su Yan's colony star. This time Guan Yao's loss was very heavy, and Su Yan was also very happy. Because this means that he has successfully controlled the shining galaxy. Guan Yao is the prince of the Guan Yao galaxy, and the Guan Yao galaxy is the 29th force in the dark universe. Although it is only the 28th force, it cannot be ignored. You must know that after Su Yan came to this planet, he has not encountered any power, which is larger than the power of Guan Yao galaxy. It can be said that now, the Guan Yao galaxy has been completely reduced to Su Yan's vassal planet. In the future, What Su Yan wants to do with the Guanyu galaxy is how to deal with it. However, Su Yan doesn't directly devour the entire shining galaxy. After all, Guanyu's status is not low, and it would be too bullying to eat Guanyu galaxy. Guanyu's father is also the 30th strongest person in the Dark Universe. If Su Yan really pissed him off, then with Guanyu's character, Su Yan felt that he would never sit still. At that time it will be even more difficult for Su Yan to deal with him, and he may even be killed, so Su Yan also decided to slowly swallow the power of the shining galaxy first, and then slowly eat away their power. Su Yan's plan is very simple, that is to devour the shining planet first, let the power of the shining slowly pass away, and then swallow the power of the shining, and then slowly grow his own power. The harvest this time was really good. Although he did not swallow up the Guanyu galaxy, it also caused Guanyu to lose his troops. If this time, Guanyu galaxy dares to come to Su Yan's trouble, Su Yan will definitely teach them a lesson, and let Guanyu know what it means to regret it. They dazzled the galaxy and were not worth mentioning at all. The current Su Yan is not going to stay on the shining planet anymore, because he has to rush to the dark galaxy as soon as possible. This is a very dangerous place. After Su Yan came out of the Hall of Stars, he left this place, and then took the battleship and flew towards the dark galaxy. He is now very fast, and in the blink of an eye, he has traveled through countless stars. Along the way, Su Yan also saw a lot of battleships, but these battleships, after seeing the huge battleship Su Yan, immediately turned around and fled. There was no way, such a huge battleship is really terrifying. Cannot be resisted. Su Yan didn't bother to pay attention to the escape of these warships, and just silently urged the speed of the warships to fly, hoping to reach the dark galaxy as soon as possible. In one day, Su Yan came within the confines of the dark galaxy. Looking at the scene around him, Su Yan couldn't help shaking his head. The dark galaxy is too far away from the dark galaxy he knows, and Su Yan doesn't know if the dark galaxy is exactly the same as the dark galaxy he knows. In any case, Su Yan is going to try it out. If he is really a dark galaxy, then he has nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, he doesn't need to worry about any problems now. Su Yan is also confident that he can deal with other galaxies of the dark galaxy. The best thing he should do now is to rush to the dark galaxy. Su Yan is also heading towards the dark galaxy. The dark galaxy is not far from this planet, it is only about 20 million kilometers away, but the dark galaxy is also a very vast star field. The starry sky inside is very vast, and I don't know how many star fields there are. This time, Su Yan came here, the main purpose is to see if he can get the star stone. The dark galaxy, like a black screen, shrouded the entire starry sky, making the entire starry sky extremely gloomy. This gloomy atmosphere, but it makes people feel no trace of cold. All this is because the dark galaxy has many planets. Most of these planets are relatively barren planets, but there are also many mineral resources. Su Yan's Hyperion has finally reached the confines of the dark galaxy. He looked at the front and smiled slightly. The dark galaxy is also a very huge planet, and such a huge planet has many civilizations inside. These civilizations are also unfamiliar to Su Yan, and do not know what level they have and what special abilities they have. But anyway, this planet is also a treasure. Su Yan decided to go to some planets in this dark galaxy, to see if he could get what he wanted. The dark galaxy is a planet full of unknowns, dangers, and wealth. Dark galaxies, there are more than 100 galaxies, distributed in various galaxies, and these galaxies, like black water droplets, are densely suspended in the dark starry sky. There are many planets in the dark galaxy. These planets are relatively weak planets, but among the dark galaxies, there are some planets that are very prosperous and very rich. For example, a sector of the 31st dark planet is a very luxurious planet. On this planet, there are many planets, and on those planets, there are some powerful races. These races are the overlords of the dark galaxies, and they are also the most noble races in the entire dark galaxies. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion to fly to the edge of the dark galaxy and stopped at a relatively calm planet. Su Yan looked around, then took Su Yan's guards and walked into this peaceful starry sky. He also planned to go for a stroll on that planet, to see the dark galaxy and see the dark galaxy. In the end, what is there? Su Yan's battleship entered the calm starry sky and immediately attracted the attention of the surrounding people. The humans on this planet were also startled when they saw Su Yan's battleship. Who is he? To start sailing in the calm starry sky? Is he crazy? Is he dying? I don't know. It is estimated that it is the indigenous people on which planet. That's not right. If they were natives, how could they have such a luxurious battleship? I saw the weapons and equipment on this battleship, and I knew it was high-end goods at a glance. I can also see it, and there are a lot of interstellar lingo. Which planet is he from? The Hyperion is naturally considered an alien item, and they are also speculating about Su Yan's identity. Su Yan listened to the discussions of these people and didn't pay any attention to them. He landed directly on the ground. As soon as he landed on the ground, Su Yan began to observe the surrounding environment. This is a very large planet. Because it is in the core of the dark galaxy, the creatures on this planet are almost all low-level creatures, and there are even some low-level beasts running rampant on this planet. Some of these beasts are relatively large, some are very small, some are relatively fast, and some are slow, but they are powerful. Dark galaxies. There are more than 100 galaxies, distributed in various galaxies, and these galaxies, like black water droplets, are densely suspended in the dark starry sky. Dark galaxies have many planets, and these planets are relatively weak planets. For example, a star area of the dark planet is a very luxurious planet, and there are many planets living on this planet. There are some powerful races on the planet. These races are the overlords of the dark galaxies, and they are also the most noble races in the entire dark galaxies. Su Yan's battleship flew to the edge of the dark galaxy and stopped at a relatively calm planet. Su Yan looked around, then took Su Yan's guards and walked into this peaceful starry sky. He also planned to go for a stroll on that planet, to see the dark galaxy and see the dark galaxy. In the end, what is there? Su Yan's battleship entered the calm starry sky and immediately attracted the attention of the surrounding people. The humans on this planet were also startled when they saw Su Yan's battleship. Su Yan then began to search for information on this planet. This planet is called the Milky Way star field, which is the most prosperous star field in the dark galaxy, and the most powerful star field in the dark galaxy. Here, there are also many powerful galaxies, and their technological civilization is also very developed. The galaxy also has countless planets. Some planets are important resource planets for dark galaxies, some planets are planets inhabited by ordinary people, and some planets are some large commercial planets. In Su Yan's brain, there are these data about this planet, and Su Yan looked at these data, and his heart was slightly shocked. I didn't expect that there is such a wealth of information on this planet. It is indeed a dark galaxy. The civilization of this planet is also very advanced. Su Yan's main goal now is to find the star stone in that dark galaxy. This dark galaxy has more than 157 star stones, and Su Yan's goal is the largest dark galaxy here, with a total of more than 20 dark planets. Among them, there are 18 dark planets, which contain the rarest materials among the dark planets, and they are also the treasures of the planets. There are many resources in the planet, and it is also very rich. Su Yan also knew that among these planets, there must be many beasts, even some high-level beasts. The beasts are very powerful, and they are also very cunning, so Su Yan has to be careful. Su Yan drove the battleship and slowly flew towards the depths of the planet. At this time, very close to Su Yan's battleship, a group of creatures from the dark planet were flying towards Su Yan's battleship. The body shape of these creatures is relatively large, and the scales on the body surface are very sharp, as if they were made of metal. The creatures of these dark planets are also fierce-looking, and their eyes are also full of killing and violence. Roar. This group of creatures from the dark planet, with a roar, they rammed directly towards Su Yan's battleship. Looking at the group of creatures rushing towards him, Su Yan's expression was also indifferent. He just said indifferently, "You bastards, you dare to be presumptuous in front of me?" The creatures of the dark planet suddenly hit the Hyperion, and the Hyperion did not respond. Suyan's battleship contained many mechanical soldiers, which poured out from the Hyperion. This group of creatures from the dark planet had just hit Suyan's battleship and was killed by Suyan's mechanical soldiers. The creatures of the dark planet, although huge in size, are not smart. They also didn't know that Suyan's battleship also had a lot of mechanical soldiers. Suyan controls the Hyperion to continue to the depths of the planet. The Star Stone is still very important, and he must get it as soon as possible. Suyan's battleship roamed the outskirts of the planet for a few days, and then he entered the core of the Dark Galaxy. The Dark Galaxy at this time is already night, and the core of the Dark Galaxy is a very large city and one of the centers of the Dark Galaxy. In this city, there are houses everywhere, and some houses have lights on them. Suyan looked around and saw no people. He drove the battleship and continued toward the center of the Dark Galaxy. A day later, Suyan finally entered the center of the Dark Galaxy. At this time, Suyan also saw a lot of silhouettes shuttle in the Dark Galaxy. His battleship flew over, and immediately attracted the attention of many people. Many figures here are from other galaxies, and they all come to compete for the planet stone. However, there are also many people who are waiting for Suyan's arrival. Because Suyan is the only one who can enter the Dark Galaxy from that wormhole. These people want to know, how did Suyan get into the wormhole, and why can he travel through so many galaxies? Suyan looked around, and then he saw the flag of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance written on the bow of a battleship. The people on this battleship are all from the Federation. Suyan also smiled when she saw the flag on the bow. The federal people in these alliances are all here to compete for the Star Stone. There are a lot of powerful beasts here. If they want to snatch the Star Stone, they must deal with those beasts, so they all gathered together, wanting to get rid of those beasts, and then compete for those beasts. Stone. The people from our Thunder Galaxy Alliance have arrived. At this time, those from the Thunder Galaxy also saw Suyan's battleship. All of them stopped talking and looked at Suyan's battleship. The people from the Thunder Galaxy looked at Suyan's battleship, and also showed their astonished eyes. These Thunder Galaxy Alliance people are also very famous in this area. They are almost the top forces within the scope of the Dark Galaxy. Behind them, there are also some super families. These super families are almost all the top families in the Dark Galaxy, and only top families like them have the ability to compete with Suyan. It turned out to be someone from Thunder Galaxy. Suyan also nodded lightly when he saw the battleship of Thunder Galaxy. The people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance also looked at Suyan, and then their eyes were full of vigilance and hostility. Their eyes were fixed on Suyan, as if they wanted to see a flaw in Suyan. "Who are you?" A man from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance stood up and asked in a cold tone. "I'm here to compete for the Star Stone." Suyan replied calmly. "Ha ha ha ha." Hearing Suyan's words, the people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance also laughed, and then they all looked at Suyan mockingly and said, "Did you make a mistake? Do you know? Your battleship is simply not able to withstand it. Live the battleship attack of our Thunder Galaxy Alliance, your battleship will only be destroyed by us, so don't be delusional." Everyone in the Thunder Galaxy Alliance looked at Suyan with contempt, apparently thinking that Suyan was too stupid. "No matter who you are, you better not anger me, otherwise, even if you are in the Alliance, I will destroy you." Suyan's face turned cold. Haha. The people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance also laughed. Suyan didn't bother to pay attention to them either. His goal was the Star Stone, and other things had nothing to do with him. He drove the battleship and continued toward the center of the Dark Galaxy, and continued to move forward. This guy actually ignored us? Humph. I want to see how he destroyed our battleship. That's right, he thought, what is he? It's just a broken ship, worthy of arrogance? Isn't he provoking our Thunder Galaxy Alliance? This time, Our Thunder Galaxy Alliance will make him suffer and let him know how powerful our Thunder Galaxy Alliance is. That's right. Everyone in the Thunder Galaxy Alliance looked at Su Yan and waited for Su Yan to collapse. Don't get too complacent. Su Yan looked at them and said, "You will know after a while, I am amazing." All right. The people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance looked at Su Yan with disdain. Su Yan drove the Hyperion and approached the center of the Dark Galaxy. The Hyperion driven by Su Yan was extremely fast, and within a few seconds, it had reached the vicinity of the center of the Dark Galaxy. Su Yan didn't stop either, he continued to control the battleship, sailing toward the depths of the center of the Dark Galaxy. Is he really going to the Dark Galaxy Center? This guy is really arrogant. Humph. I think he is courting death. He is really courting death. Those in the Dark Galaxy Alliance, Li Zhao, were all talking about it. They saw that Su Yan actually went straight to the center of the Dark Galaxy, and they all showed contempt. Su Yan ignored them and continued to drive the battleship toward the center of the Dark Galaxy. The people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance saw that Su Yan was ignoring them, and some people couldn't help it, and they were ready to teach Su Yan a lesson. Humph. It's just a native, how dare he be so rampant, I'll see how he cries later. We're going with him to the center of the Dark Galaxy, and we're going to give him a taste of the bitterness. The people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance are also approaching the center of the Dark Galaxy. However, they found that Su Yan had been moving forward all the time, as if he was making a detour. The people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance were also puzzled. They looked at Su Yan and couldn't help showing a puzzled expression. Huh? What is he doing? Is he going to run away? Where is he going to run away? Shouldn't this guy be afraid? Afraid? If he was afraid, would he dare to go to the center of the Dark Galaxy to snatch the Starstone? It's not even possible. So let's follow him and see where he's going? The people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance were all excited. They are all curious, what is Su Yan going to do? Where is he going? Humph. It's just a native, who dares to snatch the Starstone? It's just beyond his own power. A man from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance said with a sneer. Ha ha. The rest of the people also laughed. They felt that Su Yan was definitely going to die. At this time, they had already determined Su Yan's destination, which was the center of the Dark Galaxy. Since you want to follow me, let's play slowly. Su Yan looked at the people in the Thunder Galaxy and smiled slightly, and then he controlled the Hyperion and sailed towards the center of the Dark Galaxy. He actually sailed towards the center of the Dark Galaxy. It seems that he is looking for death. Everyone in the Thunder Galaxy Alliance felt that Su Yan was too clueless about life and death, and actually wanted to go to the center of the Dark Galaxy. Isn't he courting death? However, he has a lot of courage. A man from Thunder Galaxy also sneered, I would like to see how he died. The other Thunder Galaxy Alliance members also nodded. They all wanted to know how Su Yan was going to die. At the center of a dark galaxy, there is a huge black hole. The area of this black hole is hundreds of kilometers in size. This huge black hole is like a big mouth, swallowing everything. The power to swallow is also extremely powerful. Su Yan drove the Hyperion and stopped beside the black hole of the dark galaxy. Seeing Su Yan's actions, the group of people in the Thunder Galaxy were all stunned. Is he ready to give up? This is his only way to survive. Why doesn't he leave? Did he know the danger of entering the center of a dark galaxy, so he was ready to back off? The members of the Dark Galaxy Alliance also looked at Su Yan with a puzzled look. Su Yan did this, making them very puzzled. I don't know what he's going to do, but if he doesn't leave now, I'm afraid he wants to delay time. Humph. This native is really looking for his own way, and he dares to go to the center of the Dark Galaxy Center. He is just looking for death. A Dark Galaxy Alliance sneered Dao, his tone was full of disdain. Let's just wait here, see what tricks he has? Well, just watch him right here. When he dies, we're up there to pick up the slack. No problem. People of the Thunder Galaxy's alliance observe Su Yan on the edge of the Dark Galaxy. They are waiting for news of Su Yan's death. The center of the Dark Galaxy is the most dangerous area in the entire Dark Galaxy. This place, even the people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance, would not dare to roam easily. As long as it enters the center of the Dark Galaxy, it is equivalent to sending death. Once it is swallowed, it will never come out. Outside Su Yan's battleship, there are people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance who are constantly monitoring to prevent Su Yan from escaping. In the center of the Dark Galaxy, there is a huge black vortex, which looks like a long black snake, and around the vortex, there are space black holes one after another. These space black holes all exude a strong attraction, making people feel suffocated. Once inside, even the members of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance can't guarantee that they can leave that black hole alive, let alone Su Yan. A group of people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance, looking at Su Yan's battleship, stood on the edge of the black vortex, and their hearts, DBCG, were also full of anticipation. To dare to go to the center of the Dark Galaxy Center, I really don't know what to do. Ha ha. When he is sucked into the dark vortex, it will be his death. Yes, no matter who it is impossible to escape from the dark vortex. The people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance are all waiting for Su Yan's result. The dark vortex not only has infinite suction, but also has an extremely powerful phagocytosis. If it is an ordinary Cosmos-class interstellar battleship, attracted by the suction of the dark vortex, it is definitely a dead end, and it cannot resist the suction at all. In just a few seconds, the space battleship will be sucked into the dark vortex. The people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance are all staring at the black vortex. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion on the edge of the black vortex, standing still, letting the suction of the black vortex continue to suck Su Yan's battleship into it. Looking at the Su Yan battleship, the people of the Thunder Galaxy Alliance had expressions of surprise on their faces. How could this be? That native did not enter the black vortex, which is very abnormal. Could it be that he has a way to get rid of the shackles of the black vortex? A person from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance exclaimed, no wonder he dared to go to the central area of the Dark Galaxy alone. It turned out that he had already planned and wanted to delay the time. The people in the Thunder Galaxy Alliance were all shocked. They couldn't understand what method Su Yan used to resist the attraction of the black vortex. They all want to see Su Yan enter the center of the Dark Galaxy, be sucked into it by the black vortex, and finally fall completely. Su Yan did not develop as they imagined. Could it be that he really has a way to resist the suction at the center of the Dark Galaxy? A person from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance suddenly said, perhaps, he really has some special means to resist the dark power in the center of the Dark Galaxy. It's possible. But isn't the native a fool? Could he really hide from the dark forces at the center of dark galaxies? This kind of thing is really uncertain. We will wait for him to enter the center of the Dark Galaxy and see how long he can last. A group of people from the Thunder Galaxy Alliance are all paying attention to Su Yan. Su Yan's performance has exceeded their expectations, and they don't think Su Yan can survive. But at this moment, Su Yan's battleship moved. What did he want to do? The people of Thunder Galaxy saw Su Yan's battleship and suddenly moved. Their hearts were all in their throats, for fear that Su Yan would really jump into the center of the Dark Galaxy. They still don't know if there is any way for Su Yan to resist the dark forces at the center of the Dark Gala. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.